India-Bangladesh ties have hit a low since the last few months, especially after August last year. But in recent past, what has taken place is Bangladesh completely closing doors to India, effectively rendering a partnership that's beneficial to both countries that India has been supportive of irrelevant. And that is why now India is also looking at alternatives. India is pulling out its investment. India is stopping export of certain items through land ports. India has to deal with Bangladesh in a way as Bangladesh pivots to China and is under the influence of radical Islam, also taking a very stringent anti-India stand. Now, what is happening is that Bangladesh has effectively ruled out India's presence in the Chittagong Port, the Chittagong Port. There was an India economic zone that was to be built there that was very much in the plans. India had also pledged money in principle for that. But the Bangladesh government says, well, no progress has taken place. It's postponed. It's not happening. We've reduced the size of the special economic zone. And therefore, this is not happening and we will act only in national interest, effectively restricting India from accessing the port in Chittagong. Now, why is Chittagong important? If you remember a few days ago, Mohammad Yunus made a comment about India's northeastern states being landlocked, inviting China, saying Bangladesh was the guardian of the sea. What he was referring to is the Chittagong Port. The Chittagong Port is the largest port in Bangladesh. It's actually, also pretty close to the northeastern states, and therefore it could have been an access point for India's northeast states. Now, that, of course, is something that Bangladesh is saying, is not possible, and India, of course, is seeing how unreliable this is. And therefore, India is looking at options. And what are these options? India has a presence in Sittwe. Sittwe is also situated in Myanmar. And of course, India is now looking at the Kaladan multimodal project. What does this mean? Let's say a port in India, Calcutta, Kolkata port. From there, you take goods via ship to Sittwe port. From there, there's a waterway where you go to Paletwa. And then, of course, from there, you touch the southern tip of Mizoram, which is Zorunpui by road. That is one part. So once you're in Mizoram, you're in northeast India. And again, to access the larger northeast and to access, places like Silchar, Shillong, Meghalaya, Assam, Manipur, all of that, India is, of course, looking at road networks. And one of the major road networks that have been announced, which Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav explained in detail, was the Shillong-Silchar road. And that, of course, is going to be a huge project that will effectively, be a part of the loop that India is building to bring all these northeastern states to connectivity to by sea, and thereby, reducing the dependence and the critically important, the strategically important Chicken's Neck or the Siliguri corridor, which is, of course, something that, again, is a security very important for India's security, given that it's the only corridor that allows road and rail access to the northeast. And there's, of course, China sitting on the north. Then you have, of course, Bangladesh looking at, allowing Pakistanis and Chinese to access the region on the south, which is the north of Bangladesh, south of the Siliguri corridor. And the Lalmonirhat Air Base in that area is also being restarted, and all of this is a worry for India. So India is, of course, also looking at alternatives, bypassing Bangladesh through Myanmar, building this multimodal corridor. And that's why, of course, these developments are taking place. Now, India was also, Himanta Biswa Sarma has also said that and there's been a strong reaction from the Assam Chief Minister, and he said that, if any country thinks of attacking India's chicken's neck, we will attack both the chicken necks. Bangladesh has two chickens' neck, basically referring to the narrow strip of land right below the Rangpur division in the north of Bangladesh, which is south of, the area that we are describing as the chicken's neck, and then also describing the narrow strip of land connecting the main landmass of Bangladesh to the Chittagong port, which is the main port of Bangladesh. So Himanta Biswa Sarma putting out a very strong reply to Bangladesh's obnoxious comments that have come out from several quarters within Bangladesh on the northeast. But again, all of this is also not just limited to commentary. India is also looking at alternatives, and India is also looking at measures to tackle what is coming out of Bangladesh, which has suddenly taken a very strong anti-India turn. It's pivoted towards China. It's pivoted towards Pakistan. They're building stronger ties with Pakistan. The ISI is also looking at Bangladesh as a space for anti-India activity. So all of this is happening, and India is of course not wanting to be caught off guard, taking steps, taking measures to counter all of this. And therefore, we see these developments taking place. For more such videos, stay tuned to NDTV's YouTube platform, where we bring you the news developments, but also share the context in which they are taking place and go way beyond the headline. Thank you so much for watching. For all the news updates, stay tuned to NDTV.